Welcome to today's episode where we're discussing music and literacy. If you have a child in early elementary school, this episode is for you. Today, we'll review the findings of a research study looking at the impact of music on language and reading development. Let's start by talking a little bit about language. Maybe you've heard of phonics. Years ago, there was a popular reading program that had the tagline, "Hooked on phonics worked for me." So that's how I first heard about them. Phonics are the building blocks for learning to read. When a child sees a written word, they sound out each letter and blend them together to make the word. K-a-t, cat. The individual sounds are called phonemes. Phonemes are the smallest units of language. They're the A in the play or the oo in the blue, and they're essential for learning to read. In this study, one of the things they looked at was children in kindergarten and their ability to identify phonemes. Another thing that they looked at in the study was language development. Particularly, they were looking at vocabulary. Vocabulary is all of the words that a person knows, and improving vocabulary will improve reading comprehension, writing, and it also supports overall intelligence. This study looked at phoneme processing and vocabulary development in kindergartners between the ages of 5 and 6 years old. The kiddos were attending school in Finland and were divided into 3 groups. One group attended kindergarten plus 45 minutes of music class once a week. Another group attended kindergarten plus 45 minutes of dance class once a week. And the final group attended kindergarten plus daycare. The music class focused on singing and playing games. They did rhyming and playing simple instruments like drums or xylophones. They also engaged in body percussions, which is just a fancy way of saying that they clapped on their thighs or they clapped on their chests. They listened and they moved to music. They also focused on synchronizing body movements to the beat or synchronizing their movements to other children. The crazy thing is, just by doing these things, they found that the kids in the music class improved their phoneme processing and their vocabulary development. That's crazy because just this short amount of music class set these kids up to have better literacy skills long term. And not only that, but they outperformed the dance class kids. So it wasn't just listening to music or being exposed to music that made the difference. I guess it turns out music rocks. So why did this happen? Why did the kids in the music class improve so much? Well, it wasn't because the kids were smarter than the other kids. They compared the groups and actually they were all statistically just about the same with their IQs. And it also wasn't because their parents were more well off. The socioeconomic situation of the classes from the dance to the music to the daycare kids was basically the same, although really the dance class kids had an advantage because they came from a slightly better socioeconomic class. They think that the reason music improved the skills isn't because the kids were naturally smarter, because their parents were better off, but it's because by practicing these music skills, they're actually improving the child's ears or their listening skills. They're teaching them to listen and identify different frequency of sounds, and this helps them to build phonemic awareness. They also think that by singing, you may learn new words and rehearse those words, which kind of helps them to stick in your brain and improve your vocabulary. If this sounds like something you'd like to do at home, here are a few ideas for you and your kiddos. First, you can just do sing-alongs. Pick those favorite songs that your child loves, even if it is Baby Shark, and you can add hand motions and body percussions and work on synchronizing their bodies with the song. Another idea is to make music instruments at home. You can do a quick search on Pinterest and you'll find tons of crafts for making your own music instruments. For example, I like to take plastic Easter eggs and fill them with just a little bit of rice. Make sure you tape them shut so you don't have a mess, but what you will have is some homemade shakers. You can also play song rhyming games. One of my favorite songs for this is Down by the Bay, which is a fun song where at the end you can fill in a word that rhymes. It goes like this: down by the bay where the watermelons grow, back to my home I dare not go, for if I do, my mother will say, did you ever see a duck driving a truck down by the bay? And you can fill in whatever you want at the end. You could say, did you ever see a cow pushing a clown down by the bay? You could literally say any silly thing at the end, and you work on rhyming that way. Okay, you can also try musical instrument guessing games. That's where you take these little instruments that you've made and you hide them in a box or with a towel over them, and then you make the noise. You drum on the drum or you shake the shaker, and you have your child guess which instrument is making that noise. And then one final tip for at home is to try silly sing-alongs. Take a favorite song and just keep the tune but change the words. This is a great way to build vocabulary. Like, for example, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. You could change that into brush and brush and brush your teeth, brush them really good. Brush them, brush them, brush them, brush them, brush them till they're clean. You can literally put anything in there. And that way you can introduce new words and vocabulary to your child. So have fun singing and being silly with your child, and rest well, knowing that you're helping them to develop their literacy skills. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.